G'day, Ben PM here. Welcome to Nightbreed Metal Radio. Cradle of Filth making their way back to Australia this coming Tuesday, the 24th of September 2024, with a run of shows around the country supported by Infected Rain. Later in this video, we'll have another look at my chat with Lena Scissorhands, the front woman of Infected Rain. But first, I had a chat just last night with two members of Cradle of Filth. Zoe Marie Fedorov would be familiar to you all, along with Ashok, two members of Cradles. We get into it. Here they are. This is Cradle of Filth on Nightbreed Metal Radio.
Howdy.
How are you?
Great to be here. Absolutely great to be here, sir.
Excellent, cool. Where are you at the moment? Because, like, obviously you guys will be in Australia very shortly. Oh, cool. Here we go. Marik's with us. Excellent.
I am in a place that I guess is known as like a mini Australia. I'm from Tucson, Arizona. So we have a lot of the same, poisonous stuff running around, I guess, and things. So yeah, it's about like 4 a.m. here or something.
Oh my God. Wow. Well, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
No worries.
Do you have many of these tonight, the interview thing? Or this morning, I should say.
Oh yeah. They're kind of like train stops, we gotta stack them and stuff. So it's a lot of fun because I've been getting to hear Australian accents all morning. So I'm getting my I guess, to you guys' lovely accents.
Oh, good. So Cradle of Filth are heading back to Australia, in a matter of days. And I think 2019 was the last time Cradle of Filth was here. So Zoe, you haven't played here yet, is that right?
I have not, but I'm so excited because it's one of my grandparents' favorite countries. They've been there and they've told me I'm going to have a blast. So
yeah, cool. That's awesome. Ashok, Ed, do you have any tips from your time in Australia for Zoe coming over?
I mean, we already did a few interviews and she got way too excited about poison snakes. And there should be a museum in Sydney near to Opera House. Yeah, so that's probably Opera House. It's a must anyway.
Yeah.
So let's see about how much time left we have. Because it's gonna be quite intense traveling, mostly by planes.
Yeah.
We are gonna the snakes though. All right, like we have to. I will give up sleep to see the cool poisonous stuff.
Excellent. Okay, cool. So, Ashok, you've been with Cradle of Filth 10 years, right?
Yes.
Around now, yeah?
Finishing my 11th one.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, do you think the songwriting process or anything has changed much in your time with the band?
As I mentioned in some previous interviews, I think for this record we really it was more like a collective effort.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we even talking to you both via Zoom, bring me the memories where, for example, Zoe and Donnie teamed up with me to actually write like interactively, like in a real time via Zoom.
Oh, yeah, well.
Yeah. Which was like we were almost like in the same room.
Oh, that's cool. So... Oh. Sorry, it was the horns or something anyway.
There was horns outside my apartment.
Yeah, no worries. So how was that? Must have been a pretty different way of writing. Have you worked like that before? Kind of, over, with technology in between kind of thing?
I mean, we used, usual stuff like emails, because even back then we were like, everyone, not in different countries, but, some members lived in UK and, the distances were quite, long, so it's not like they are meeting 3 times a week for beer. Yeah. So we used emails and stuff, but this new experience with that, in real time, like let's say Zoom on the camera was really new and fresh, and I think I'm sure that was quite fruitful for the new record.
Yeah, that's cool. So Trouble in Their Double Lives, the live one that came out last year. This is a great live record. I love it. So I know you've both had a lot of musical experience, but was this, have either of you recorded a live album before that?
I did with my previous band, here in Czech Republic, called Root. The band is no longer exists, but I've been there for 15 years, from 1999 till 2014 before I joined Cradle. Yeah, we did a one live album and a DVD.
Yeah, cool, awesome. Have you done any kind of live recordings before, Zoe?
I have not, but actually on that album, that's my friend Lindsay Schoolcraft.
There you go. Okay, right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I was actually not on that live album, but I enjoy it immensely, and Linz did a great job.
Yeah, cool. Right, that's cool. But yeah, you're on this new one. That's really exciting. So what can you tell us about it? We know, you've written it over the internet, but it's coming out next year, right?
Next year, we can't give too much away, but I would say that because it's a very throwback album in some ways. I grew up listening to Cradle of Filth more in my high school years. And so when I was writing stuff for this new album, and I know this is true to the other new guitarist, Donnie, as well, I think both of us pitched a lot of ideas that kind of took the band back in time a bit, but also with this kind of new freshness to it as well. So I think the fans can expect something that is both old school and fresh at the same time.
Yeah. That's cool. And Ashok, Hammer of the Witches was your first Cradle of Filth album you played on, right? Yeah.
Yes.
How was that? Like, it's a great album. It was a cool kind of guitar-y sound change for the band a bit back then. How was it prepping and recording your first Cradle of Filth album?
It was exciting indeed. It was a bit different process compared to my previous band, but yeah, we teamed up. I think whole lineup clicked really well, and I think the proof is the result of that album.
Yeah, no, definitely. And this new one, Ed Sheeran's going to be on the new one. Is that right?
Ed Sheeran's song should be featured on a special edition.
Okay.
The new record, which is coming later on next year.
Oh, sure. Okay. So how did that happen? I mean, I know Ed Sheeran's popular, but Cradle of Filth and Ed Sheeran together is not something I thought I would see. Like, how did that sort of happen?
Actually, Ed lives in Suffolk, England, which is home of Danny Filth. As well. So they meet. I think they are mates. They met a few times, and I think Ed revealed and spread the info a few times that he always been into really heavy stuff. So I think it was a kind of challenge for him, to try something out of his box.
Yeah, cool. And the two new songs on the live album, She's a Fire and the Demon Prince Region, are they going to be on the new album, those two songs?
No.
Okay,
no,
all right.
These were specially recorded as a bonus tracks for the live album.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so we got all new stuff. That's exciting. Cool. So Ashok, on stage, you've got the cool kind of Hellraiser leather thing going on, and Zoe, you're up there with this cool funeral gate kind of thing around and stuff. How does all that come together? Like, is Danny or someone in charge of the visual side of things, or is there kind of a discussion around all that?
I mean, when it comes to official video shoots and photo shoots, there's a bit more collaboration, I would say, to make sure that we're kind of on theme. But a lot of the time we wear on stage what makes us comfortable, because of course you have to be able to perform in it as well. So when I first joined the band, the instructions I got were wear black. So
yeah, those are good instructions. Yeah.
I mean, speaking of Hellraiser Pinhead, and speaking because we are doing an interview for Australia. So believe it or not, I think it was Sydney or Melbourne, 2019 when I first tried that look.
Oh, right, cool.
And so it was Australia, and I developed it since then. And it's like natural, because that Pinhead look and image has been always with the band. Doug Bradley, the actor who played Pinhead. Collaborated with Cradle in some narrations, so it was just, that Pinhead aura was still there. It was just about to bring it on stage.
Yeah, that's cool. And you two are engaged, yeah? Congratulations. I know it's been a little while, but
you.
That's cool.
Thank you.
And I know people falling in love, who work together is not that strange, but most people aren't in Cradle of Filth, Like, how is it working together, the having a romance and working together? How's that?
It's really, I don't want to call it domestic bliss on the road, but it's really lovely to wake up every morning and someone has already made my coffee for me.
Oh, beautiful.
It's like that. So I would say that I think, our relationship and how well we work together translates to the overall health of the band as well. Yeah. So it's a pleasure to work with the love of my life. Absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's always great to have your own barista.
Yeah, definitely. That's cool. And Zoe, I wanted to ask about Catalyst Crime, if that's cool. Like, I'm sure Cradle of Filth is extremely busy touring and everything, but do you ever think we'll hear more Catalyst Crime in the future?
Yeah, so Catalyst Crime is wrapping up all of the guest sessions for our upcoming album, which is going to be actually next year. So we have some really cool guests that are going to be on the record, including Chris Harms from Lord of the Lost. So that's actually the first time I'm seeing an interview. So yeah, stuff is coming from Catalyst as well, very soon.
Oh, that's exciting, cool. And again, I'm sure Cradle of Filth is busy and you got, other musical things going on, but do you think you two would ever work on a project like just your own kind of thing?
We've talked about it, but we've decided if we did it, it wouldn't be something metal necessarily, right, Shmerda?
It might be, but I think we both are, influenced by many music styles, so, I mean, why doing everything metal?
Yeah, sure. That's cool. And what about like musical tastes? Like, what are you both listening to lately? What kind of stuff?
I think we both have the same.
Oh yes.
We're listening to that.
You say it. Yeah.
We're listening to that damn long-awaited epic record, Time 2 from Sun on repeat.
Yeah, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, same here.
It took forever to get here, but now that it's here, it's an epic album. So, fuck you, Yachty. It's brilliant.
Yeah, fuck you, Yachty, but it's fucking brilliant.
That's great. Cool. Well, look, I've got my Cradle of Filth ticket. I'll see you guys Tuesday at Metropolis in Fremantle. Thanks so much for your time. It's awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing Cradles again. So good. Yeah.
See you there.
Cool.
Thank you. See you there.
Have a good one. See ya. Infected Rain, you guys, when you started in Moldova, what was the metal scene like back then? Like, did you guys have places to play shows when you were starting off?
Not really, to be honest. Moldova is quite a small country from Eastern Europe, and many people don't know this about Moldova, but we became independent I don't know, I would say almost 400 years ago or something like that. We were part of Romania back then, before, and Romania obviously being a bigger country, Moldova is just not even like a third, not even a sixth part of Romania. It's very, very tiny part of ex-Romania that also used to be part of USSR back in the day as well. So I feel like because of that, the economical situation of the country was never too great, even now, and that obviously is the reason why there are no places for alternative young kids to go hang out or see some shows or play some shows if they are musicians. Now, when I was a teenager and I loved metal and I used to try and discover multiple bands, eventually I found out that there was a place, a venue where local bands would play, some bands that were driving through would stop for a show. However, that place didn't survive for too long, and every single underground pub, alternative venue, or just an alternative bar, no matter how small or big, didn't really survive for too long in Moldova, unfortunately. And again, the reason is not because there's no musicians or no metalheads. The reason is because it's very hard to survive and, you know, have enough money to pay the rent for that place and bring bands, because it's just a small country with very poor economic situation, you know. And when we created Infected Rain, back then we still had a few people, a few promoters, you would call them nowadays. There was no how to say, there was certain words didn't have the meaning they have now because of how fast internet blew everything up and you know, brought everything to a next level. Back then it was just the kind of the beginning where like social media just was introduced to people. Like there was, I believe, Facebook and I don't know, MySpace or something like that back then, you know. And that's all we could do because yes, we were able to play a few shows in our country, but we were not able to play very often unless we decided to visit the countries next to us, which is Romania and Ukraine. We literally are hugged by these two countries, and those two countries were the first two we started touring a lot.
Yeah, cool.
You know, slowly we started touring other countries, but to get back to your question, we do have a lot of talented musicians and metalheads, but unfortunately we don't have possibilities for this younger generation that wants to create music or create something alternative, even if it's not music. It's quite sad, to be honest. I don't know what is the situation nowadays because I moved to America almost 10 years ago. I still go to Moldova because that's where the band is from. We rehearse there. We film a lot of material there. You know, our producer is there. So I travel a lot to Moldova. But we mainly play outside the country. To be honest, this year we're gonna play in Moldova after almost 7 years. We didn't play in our own country.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I'm sure this tells you a lot about how many places there are.
Yeah. You've played alongside some other great bands over the years, like Sodom and Dimmu Borgir. What are some of the more memorable shows that you've played over the years?
Well, there were many, of course. One once was a festival that we were part of in Romania, and we were so little as a band still, and we played right after Motley Crue on a different stage. It was like an after party stage, and we were very nervous because it would have been either no people at all because everybody saw the headliners and left, or everybody will stay to after party and to continue their evening, you know, their night with more music, which was the case. And that was probably our first big crowd. But that was so many. I was still blonde. My dreads were this short. That was
cool. Last year, 2023, you guys put out a live album, The Devil's Dozen. How was that? Like, you know, live recording and that sort of thing compared to a studio album?
I believe we released that a little bit before, but it doesn't matter. The actual message and the actual reason why we did that was actually for a very special occasion. We filmed this live show that includes 22 songs up until the fourth album, so different songs from 4 albums. We did it because it was our 13-year anniversary. That's why the name as well, The Dozen. And when we filmed it and when we presented it to people, it was presented digitally. That was the main idea. We did not plan to do anything else with it right then. But people received it so well. It's our first DVD, and for the first time we presented ourselves in this way to people. And it actually came with a documentary about the history of the band as well, so people could see it. But people loved the show itself so much that together with our label, with the support of the label and all the fans, everybody was like, we need to immortalize that somehow, put it on a DVD or something. So we did. But that was not our goal from the start. But we felt very loved and very special when we received so many people, wanting it in a physical form.
Yeah, cool. And then obviously this year, Time, your sixth full-length album, I think. So you got Alice Lane on bass. Was Alice involved in any of the songwriting? Like, did that change the approach to this album at all?
No, for one specific reason. Maybe in the future with the next album, this will change. But for the time being, when we were already composing the album, we were still deciding who is going to be the musician that will join the band. So in the very early stages of composing the album, we were we stopped I believe at 2 or 3 musicians that we had to just make our decision and see who's more interested and more eager to be part of this, because obviously it's very important to be a very, very good musician, but it's not the only requirement. We really needed a balanced, passionate person, and we did not plan it to be a female. It just so happened that way. She just was better than everybody else, and she got the spot. She was very, very excited because she knew the band already. She's been to some of our shows in the past. We didn't know her in person, though. We didn't know she was at our shows up until she told us, but she did record her instrument. So the composing part is mainly done by Vidik, our guitar player, and together with the drummer, they perfect the songs. Now with Alice being already part of the band, hopefully with the next album, if she has ideas, we will, I don't know, consider them or maybe even execute them, if they feel right.
Yeah, cool. That's cool. And what about yourself? Because you write the lyrics, yeah? What are you talking about thematically on this new one?
I do lyrics for Infected Rain and the vocal melodies as well. This album, the whole process was absolutely the same as every other album before, but it was very unique in a specific way. The time when we sat down to put all our materials together, because we often put ideas down and have some skeletons of the songs, just raw versions of the songs, just so we don't forget them. We put them somewhere, we get back into that folder when we need to, So it's same for me lyric wise. It just so happens that the previous year was quite difficult in the band. The change was long coming, let's say that. I don't want to get into details, but it wasn't the easiest year for our career as people and as musicians, actually. And I felt like I had a lot to talk about, and that inspired me a lot. So every time I write lyrics, I do write them based on my own life experience and my own thoughts and fears and my own perspective of life, my own ups and downs of life. I put them down in this poem form first. And this album is unique because it's our first conceptual album, and even though it's been 6 albums already, we never really wanted even to have a conceptual album. We never even tried. But with this album, it was quite almost palpable. When we had 3 or 4 songs, it was very obvious that we are going into a specific direction. So I wanted to continue going in that direction. And even though I have songs with different themes on this album. Every single song has embroidered this, like, if time could be a red thread, it's embroidered in every single song, if that makes sense. You know, like when you watch detective movies and you see this board with red threads going everywhere. This is kind of how I envisioned this album, and I was going in that direction, trying to show how important time is and how priceless really time is. And we are losing it. We are giving it away carelessly very often, and through relationships, through emotions, through just, I don't know, procrastinating and so on. There's 12 songs on this album. One is fully electronic, so 11 songs with lyrics, 11 absolutely different songs that all together kind of talk about time, though.
Yeah, cool. Away from Infected Rain for a minute, what have you been listening to these days? What are you checking out at the moment?
Yes, lately I've been listening to a lot of like trip hop music, a lot of I like when electronic music is present in other genres like reggae or hip hop or metal. And I tend to listen to a lot of bands like that. It depends what I do, really. I listen to a lot of music throughout every day of my life. It's like I need to have a soundtrack. If I am cooking in the kitchen, it's a certain mood I need. If I am, driving, a different mood I need. Or if I'm cleaning, it's all like that. Obviously, when I am not on tour and I am just working from home between tours, I don't really do many things outside of being home. So other than listening to the music when you drive or when you exercise a little bit, I don't really have other options. But on tour is when I discover more music. On tour is when I love to listen to a lot of songs, a lot of bands, new albums, because we are on the road so much. And somehow you have to, kill the time. You can't work all the time. And we try to work all the time, but you can't.
Yeah.
So I want me to just tell you like some bands. Let's stick with some, some stuff from the past. Let's say Queen. I listen to a lot of Queen, Depeche Mode, stuff like that lately. I've a lot. And Lenny Kravitz, I have a new love for him now. I always loved him, but yeah, good music.
Cool. So you're also in Death Dealer Union, yeah? How'd you get involved with those guys? Because you guys, put out an album in September last year, yeah?
Yes, Death Dealer Union was initially just a project of the drummer. He is the creator of the band, Cici. He contacted me during COVID to do a couple of featuring songs. He is actually a businessman that just really wanted always to be a musician, and he had extra time and involved some musicians. He involved my producer as well. And I created a couple of songs, and then they invited me to be part of the band. I don't know how and where this is gonna go, because obviously starting new projects always condition you very much. I initially said no, believe it or not, a couple of times, even though I feel very welcome in the band and feel great with people. But I am so busy with Infected Rain that I couldn't even imagine finding time for another project. Now, eventually, Cici himself, he told me that he doesn't think that Death Dealer Union will be a full-time touring band or anything like that. So he doesn't mind that I'm constantly gone. We can work remotely to a certain extent, and then if there's shows or tours, they will be considerate of Infected Rain. Now, with time passing, though, they've been discovering that I am touring way more than they thought, even though I told them. So I don't know. know. Certain changes are going to happen soon for sure. I'm very proud of that album. It's a different type of metal. I worked with my producer from Infected Rain, Valentin. He works with me since I started being a musician, which is around 16 years ago. And he's been part of every single featuring song, side project. He also has his own band called Seas on the Moon. And I've been part of his some of his songs. Great musician and super talented producer. We became friends. So I had a lot of pleasure working on this album. I have it on vinyl. I love it.
Oh, cool. So Infected Rain's making your way to Australia in September, supporting Cradle of Filth. That's pretty awesome. I've got my ticket already. Yeah. Have you played with Cradles before?
No, but we've been there was some proposition in the past. I don't know why it didn't work out though. Something didn't work out. But no, it's gonna be a surprise, and I'm hoping a very pleasant surprise. I have some friends in the music industry that already have toured with Cradle of Filth, and they only spoke highly about them, every single musician. So, in the end of the day, what matters for a good tour to be successful is the energy on tour is very important, and the interaction between bands and crew, believe it or not, but it's quite important. It's not the most crucial, of course, but the better you feel on tour, the more welcome you feel on tour, the better shows you give to people, because you are not stressed or thoughtful about other things. We've had some tours like that, so I am super excited. It's going to be only 5 shows, but I am very excited to meet the band, to meet Australian fans. We've been receiving so much love when we announced that we are coming to Australia, because we've never been. It's going to be our first time. So I don't even know how to tell you how excited I am. I'm very excited.
Cool. Well, me too. It's going to be a great show, man. Lena, thanks heaps for your time. And yeah, we'll see you in September. Thanks a lot, mate.
Yeah, you come to any of the shows?
Yeah, I'll be in Perth. I'm in WA, so yeah, I'll see you there, man. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks so much for having me.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. Hey, cheers. See ya. Thank you very much to Lena, to Ashok, and to Zoe for joining us on the show, and I'll see you all on Tuesday. Yeah, ticket details below. I think this is going to be a huge one. If you love your metal, subscribe. There's always new stuff coming up on here, interviews, metal halls, and of course music. And just coming up right now is a bit of a preview of some interviews that will be coming up very soon on the channel. Check it out.